Hey guys, today I'm going to read Australian Rainforest Animals. It's a long book, so we may not make it through the whole thing. Rainforests. Rainforests grow where there's plenty of rain. Australia has different sorts of rainforests. Some grow in warm places, others grow in cool places. These damp, which means wet, green rainforests are home to fascinating animals and plants. Once there was a lot of rainforest in eastern Australia. However, most of it has been chopped down and many rainforest animals have become rare. Some people are now trying to save the rainforests. Kangaroos and wallabies. If you go to the Columbian Park Zoo in Lafayette, which is free, you can see wallabies in the wallaby walkabout, and they're so cute. They're little fuzzy little faces. Kangaroos and wallabies. Some kangaroos live in rainforests. Right? Kangaroos belong to a group of mammals called marsupials. A baby marsupial is tiny. It grows inside its mother's pouch until it is big enough to survive outside. Tree kangaroos are rare. They live in the branches of rainforest trees in parts of North Queensland and New Guinea. The soles of a tree, that means the bottom of their feet, the soles of a tree kangaroo's feet are covered with bumps so they can grip onto branches. Swamp wallabies are found in both hot, wet tropical rainforests and cool rainforests. So if you're reading labels in a nonfiction book, which you should always do, this one says it's a Lumholtz tree kangaroo, and this one is a swamp wallaby. I don't know what kind of wallaby they have at the Columbian Park Zoo, but they're awfully cute. Possums. Possums are marsupials too, whose babies spend the first part of their lives in their mother's pouches. They live in trees, and most of them eat leaves and fruit all at night. Ringtail possums can use their strong curling tail to hold onto branches. The striped possum, which eats insects, cannot use its tail to hold onto branches. Brush-tailed possums have bushy tails. Mountain brush-tailed possums are found in cool rainforests. They feed mainly on leaves. So here's a striped possum. This is way cuter than the possums we have in the United States. A Daintree River ringtail possum, a northern ringtail possum, and this one is a mountain brush-tail possum. The couscous is a close relative of the opossum. In Australia, couscouses are found only in the rainforests of Cape York and Queensland. A couscous has two thumbs, which allow it to grasp branches easily. Like the ringtail possums, it can hold onto branches with its tail. Couscouses eat leaves, flowers, and fruit. And this one is a spotted couscous. Flying foxes. Oh, they're so cool. Flying foxes are big bats, which are mammals. Mammals are people, dogs, cats, the hedgehog meadow, anything with fur and gives birth to live babies and gives their babies milk is a mammal. Flying foxes are big bats, which are mammals. They fly using wings of thin skin joining their fingers and their legs. Mobs of flying foxes spend the day upside down hanging by their feet from a branch. So they're nocturnal, like meadow. At night, they fly off to find rainforest flowers and fruit to eat. Often they must travel a long way to find food. They then fly back to their homes in the trees by dawn. So these two are speckled flying foxes, and this is a gray-headed flying fox. And if you look at the picture, you can see why they're called flying foxes. They look like a fox, but they fly. Platypus. These guys are hilarious. What in the world is going on there? It's a mammal. You know how I said mammals give birth to live babies? This is one of the mammals that does not. It lays eggs. What are we doing, platypus? I mean, come on. The platypus lives in rainforest creeks. It has a leathery bill, so it kind of looks like a duck, and its eyes and nostrils are set on top of its head and bill. Its thick, soft fur keeps out water. When a platypus hunts for food underwater, it closes its eyes and ears. Its sensitive bill picks up the tiny electrical signals from the bodies of the animals it eats. It stores its food in cheek pouches and surfaces to eat. Well, wouldn't that be fun? Cheek pouches? I'm going to save this chocolate for later. The female platypus nests in a burrow dug into the bank of the creek. She lays 2 white eggs. When they hatch, she feeds the babies milk from patches on her belly. This is a platypus swimming, and this is a platypus on the bank of a creek. They're hilarious. I didn't talk much about their tail, which is kind of like a beaver tail. And then it has feet that are webbed, which is a good adaptation for swimming. Eclectus Parrot. Eclectus parrots are colorful birds that live in a small area of tropical rainforest in North Queensland. Like all parrots, on each foot they have 2 toes that point forwards and 2 toes that point backwards. This enables them to hold on safely when they perch on the branches of trees. They often hold food in one foot while they eat it. The coloring of male and female Eclectus parrots is so different that they look like different types of parrots. The Eclectus parrot shown at left, oh wait, I'm looking at it. This is left, sorry. No, I was right. When you're doing it backwards, it's weird, sorry. So, let me go back. The coloring of male, oh, they look different. The Eclectus parrot shown at the left is preening its feathers with its beak. Preening keeps the feathers clean and tidy so the bird can fly well. Tidy feathers also help keep out the rain. This one is a male Eclectus parrot, and it's preening, and this is a female. So even though they're completely different colors, they're the same parrot. Same species of parrot. King parrot. That looks a lot like the female. Like all parrots, Australian king parrots have a curved bill. Its sharp point helps crack the shells of the seeds they eat. They also eat fruit. When they fly, king parrots make a loud sound. A pair of Australian king parrots finds a tree hollow to use as a nest. After the female lays white eggs, the parents take turns sitting on them to keep them warm until they hatch. The parents carry food to their chicks. They feed them until their feathers are grown and they can fly from the nest to feed themselves. And the label on the picture says the same thing for both. It's an Australian king parrot. Robins. We have robins here in Indiana, but these are a different kind of robin. Australia's robins are small, plump birds that often sing at dawn. Some sorts of robins live in the rainforest where they catch insects to eat. In the spring, a pair of robins will choose a safe place to build a nest. They make the nest from strips of bark, bits of plants, and cobwebs. Many robins also put small pieces of green lichen or bark on the outside of their nests. While the female robin sits on the eggs, the male brings her food. When the chicks hatch, both parents feed them insects. This is a gray-headed robin, a flame robin, and an eastern yellow robin. Pigeons and doves. Fruit-eating pigeons, like the top-knot pigeon, fly through the rainforest in flocks looking for food. Then they feed on fruit in the treetops. The emerald dove waddles around the forest edges, feeding on fruits that have fallen to the ground. A pair of pigeons builds a flimsy nest of thin sticks in a tree. The female lays 2 white eggs. When a chick hatches, it is hungry. A parent feeds the chick a special food it makes called pigeon's milk. Later, the chick is fed on fruit. This is the emerald dove, and this is the top knot pigeon, because it's got looks like a knot on the top of its head. Owls. Owls hunt for small animals at night. They search for food in the rainforest and along its edges where it joins more open forest. Their flight feathers have soft, fluffy edges, so owls make no sound when they hunt. They can see in dim light and they have good hearing. Owls can find prey just by tracking the noise it makes. Owls lay their white eggs in hollows in trees. Australia has 2 different sorts of owls. Hawk owls have a separate circle of feathers around each eye. Barn owls' eyes are set in a heart-shaped disc of feathers. This is a boobook owl. This is a young rufous owl. And this is a masked owl. It does look like a heart. Kingfishers. Kingfishers have big heads and long, sharp beaks. The azure kingfisher lives near rainforest streams. It perches over the water and dives to catch yabbies, frogs, and fish. It nests in a burrow in the riverbank. The buff-breasted paradise kingfisher digs its nest hole on the ground into a low mound built by termites. Both parents care for the eggs and the chicks when they hatch. They feed the chicks insects and snails. This is the buff-breasted paradise kingfisher, and here's the azure kingfisher with yabby, otherwise known as a crayfish, crawdad, crawfish, mudbug. Birds with loud voices. Birds make their calls for different reasons. Many birds sing loudly to warn other birds to stay away from their home areas. The whip bird does this with a call that sounds like a whip cracking. Sometimes a bird calls to say it is looking for a mate. The male lyrebird copies the songs of other birds as well as singing his own song when he calls for a female. The male catbird makes a call that sounds like a cat meowing. A bird may make loud alarm calls that warn other birds of danger, such as snakes. Here's a green catbird, a lyrebird, look at that beautiful tail, and an eastern whipbird feeding its chicks. Maybe you can't see it. Bowerbirds. A male bowerbird builds a bower of twigs on the forest floor. He collects treasures such as berries, bones, and glass and places them around the bower. When a female comes, he sings and dances for her and shows her his feathers. If she likes him, they mate. Then she flies away and builds a nest for her eggs. She looks after the eggs and chicks by herself. So here's the male satin bowerbird, male regent bowerbird, and a male golden bowerbird. Oops. My pages are sticking. Cassowary. The southern cassowary is a big rainforest bird that cannot fly. Kind of makes me think of a turkey. Its neck is blue and has two dangling red wattles. On its head is a bony crest called a casque. The hole behind a cassowary's eye is the opening to its ear. It's right there. After the female cassowary lays her eggs, she goes away and the male sits on them. When the eggs hatch, he looks after the striped chicks alone. He protects them from enemies and shows them where to find food. Southern cassowary and a male southern cassowary with a chick. Pythons. Ooh, not a big snake fan. Pythons are snakes with strong muscular bodies. When a python is hungry, it flicks out its forked tongue. In this way, it can taste the scent an animal has left behind. As it follows the smell, little pits on the python's face feel the heat given out by the animal's body. A python does not have poison glands. To kill its prey, it grabs an animal with its mouth, then coils its body around it and squeezes. The animal cannot breathe and it suffocates. Then the python opens its mouth very wide and swallows the dead animal whole. Green python, carpet python, and a diamond python. Dragons. What? I didn't think dragons were real. Dragons are lizards that have strong legs and can run fast. They have long tails, and some have crests of large scales on their necks and down their backs. All dragons eat small animals such as insects. Rainforest dragons can hide by changing their color so that their skin looks like bark and their crest looks like lichen or moss. Boyd's forest dragon, and both of these are southern forest dragons. So these are not the dragons that you think of like in How to Train Your Dragon or anything like that. Turtles! Rainforest turtles and streams are home to freshwater turtles. A turtle's body is hidden in its shell, which is called a carapace. Some turtles with short necks can pull their head between the edges of their shell. Turtles with long necks wrap their neck and head along the edge of their shell. This protects them from their enemies. Turtles have webbed feet that help them swim. They eat animals such as fish, frogs, and insects that they catch in the water. Some turtles may even eat fallen fruit. They leave the water to bask in the sun and to lay their eggs. A short-necked turtle, eastern long-necked turtle. These are not very creative names. Short neck and long neck. Frogs. Frogs have soft, moist, that means wet, skins, and most of them live in damp places. When a male frog calls for a mate, he puffs out his throat After frogs mate, their eggs hatch into tadpoles, which live in water. Tadpoles grow into adult frogs, which live in water and on land. Many forest frogs have discs on their fingers and toes. These discs help them hold on to leaves and bark. So look at their big toe marks there. Those are cute. Red-eyed tree frog, dainty green tree frog calling for a mate, white-lipped tree frog because it's got white lips, and a male frog calling. Freshwater crays. Crays are related to crabs and prawns. They belong to a group of animals called crustaceans. Crays have a hard outer skeleton on the outside. It's called an exoskeleton. They didn't put that in here. I don't know why. Crays have a hard... Oh, I said that. It protects them like a suit of armor. They have 10 legs. The first pair of legs ends in big claws. Their eyes are movable stalks, or on movable stalks. They touch things with their long feelers to find out about them. Freshwater crays lay eggs. The eggs hatch into tiny versions of the adults. This gives them a good chance to grow and survive in the water they live in if the water they live in dries up. The colorful Lamington Plateau cray may leave the stream it lives in and crawl over the forest floor. They have often been found far away from any creek or river. If it feels it is in danger, the cray makes a loud hissing noise and waves its claws to scare off the enemy. This is a Lamington Plateau cray. Yes. Butterflies! Butterflies are insects. Their long feelers end in little knobs. Butterflies eat the nectar from flowers. After mating with a male, a female butterfly lays eggs. Each egg hatches into a caterpillar, which eats leaves. When it has grown, it changes into a pupa. The pupa rests inside a cocoon or pupal case as it changes into a butterfly. The case splits and the butterfly comes out, dries its wings, and flies away. These are Union Jack butterflies on pupal cases. Pupal cases. That's my dog, guys. Sorry. She's super excited. And this is a Cairns birdwing butterfly. And that is the end. Darn, my dog ruined it at the end. That's okay. Please forgive me. We love her. Her name is Jazz. See you next time.